I just ran across the house, so I'm a little out of breath. I was just realizing right as I was about to go live, I had all my E61 portafilters in my kitchen. So I was like, hey, I can't brew espresso like that. Hey guys, you're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. Guys, I'm a total geek when it comes to coffee. There's no other way to say it. If you are a geek like me, I'm going to point blank ask you, hit that subscribe button. Really, the reason why I started this channel was just kind of to hook up with everybody and learn from y'all. I know that sounds crazy, why anyone would start a YouTube channel for that, but I really love coffee. Years and years ago, I worked in a cafe, and y'all, it's kind of one of those things where you ever just do something and then you realize that like years later, that was like one of the coolest jobs I've ever had. And that's kind of that was kind of the realization that I had not too long ago, how much I loved working in a cafe and work and all that. One of the reasons why I called my channel Faith and Coffee Bean is because when I did that, I was in seminary and Bible college at the time, and I had for a short period of time I was a minister and worked a lot with a lot of nonprofits and worked with a lot of cafes. So it was really cool. But guys, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my channel lately. I just want to say I really appreciate you. There's no other way to say it. Y'all, I love talking about budget espresso, and I love kind of sharing with y'all kind of my journey and how to do that. Um, I really try to focus on things that are budget friendly. Every now and then, I get something that's pretty cool that is out of the norm as far as what I would consider my budget. But one of the things that I'm always kind of conscious about, and I always try to think about, everyone has different perspectives. You know, I talk to some people and I tell them, hey, I spent less than $100 on this as a grinder for coffee. And I've gotten reactions before, wow, $100, that's a lot of money. Where I sometimes when you want to, like, when I talk to my wife about stuff and people that aren't in coffee, I want to say, like, oh my goodness, people spend thousands of dollars on grinders, and if you were in a cafe, it might be $1,500, $2,000. You know, maybe you get one used for $600. You know, trying to explain all that. And the cool thing is, I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you might kind of know that, or you kind of come across something like this. So this is the new grinder. I just did a review video on it, y'all, and I've been really trying to put it through its paces. This thing is just so cool. I don't have any beans in there right now. This is the MOKKOM grinder. It's crazy. It's basically built off the same type of chassis as the Shardor 64 flatbird grinder, which is crazy. Lance Hendrick just did a video about it. All of us on social media have been posting and going crazy about this grinder because, y'all, what makes this kind of unique is that it uses 64 millimeter burrs. And these 64 millimeter burrs would be like the same thing you would see in a Super Jolly. Timor has the Timor Sculpey. A lot of commercial kind of grinders are going to kind of start off right here at this point. And these are the burrs that are inside of there. I have it from, these are the ones actually from the Shardor 64. So guys, it's crazy. Like, you can literally get to a point where you can go coffee crazy and spend thousands of dollars on coffee equipment. But what I really love to do is I love to kind of figure out the budget way to do that. So this is one of my favorite machines I've been using a lot of. This is the Gemini Owl. Right now, they're doing a promo on it on Amazon for like $360. And again, I always I started off saying this video, I'm always kind of relevant, or I try to keep in my mind the relevance of you know, what might be a really good price to someone might be really high to another. And that's okay. That's a big thing. I say shop with your own pocketbook. You know, don't let anyone tell you, oh, what the machine you have, it's just not good enough. You can make espresso on some of the most amazing machines possible. One of my absolute favorites, I do share this a lot, is my ECP DeLonghi, and I always have it sitting right here next to me because A, it's a boiler system, and you could just make some awesome stuff. You can get one of these. I got this one used for 40 bucks, but you can get them for just crazy, crazy deals. There's you could do a DeLonghi, Dedica. I mean, there's so many different routes you can go. Guys, I'm actually really excited. One of the things I want to let you know is I have two really budget machines that I'm going to be reviewing in the next week or so, maybe the next couple days. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I have a machine from the Shardor. So the Shardor 64, they sent me over a budget machine for me to do a review on. And then I have another one from another company that I have here, Nervetta. I'm always so bad at pronouncing the names of these brands. But I have another one. So you guys, if you're into seeing kind of the budget-friendly stuff, you guys, this is the right place. So I'm going to tell you guys, when I start my live videos, I try to go live 2 or 3 times a week. This week's been really busy. I've got a lot of videos out, y'all. Hope you've been watching them. But I am going to make some coffee because I have not had any coffee, and it's already 1 o'clock my time, 1:12. So sometimes I like to do these where I have my first coffee with y'all, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm kind of just deciding on which grinder to use. Do I go with this new grinder by Amaze Chef? This is the $90 grinder. This is the conical grinder. What would y'all rather see? Let me know in the comments. Or do I go with the MOKKOM 64 millimeter flat burr grinder? Let's get the beans going, and y'all let me know somebody in the comments which one you guys want me to, which one you want me to use. And let me know if you've seen the reviews, because I'm curious if any of y'all see what your thoughts are on these grinders. Okay, so I am going to be working with some beans from, I believe they're from Denmark. Let me double check. They are from, yes, Denmark. Cool. And this is a French roast, so we're going to go dark today. So dark is really forgiving. You know, there's no other way to say it. I have my MH Bomber basket. It's an 18 gram in there right now. So far, I'm telling you guys, I use a lot of different baskets. I have a Normcore basket. I have IMS baskets. A big shout out to MH Bomber because they're actually, it's one of the first baskets I ever bought, and it's one of my favorites to use. It's a precision basket, so it's pretty cool. All right, guys. So what do y'all think? What grinder should we use? I am trying to, it's hard. I had a good friend of mine reach out to me, and he's like, hey, bro, how many grinders do you have now? And I felt bad because it's like, honestly, guys, I got a lot of them, but what's really cool, I love it when, you know, these brands reach out and are like, hey, review my stuff. I'm always more than happy to do it. So I get stoked because I get to share more with y'all. So that's definitely a cool thing. I was thinking about doing a basically budget grinder showdown video. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Definitely was thinking about doing a budget grinder showdown video where I lined up probably 4 or 5 budget grinders and just kind of have at it. We pull different shots. We try different things, you know, because like I've said before too, one of the things that I always like to kind of focus on is what's cheap to me might not be cheap to someone else. We're all at different price points, and that's okay. I think the hardest thing, and I've shared this before with you guys, for years, I did not make espresso. I made pour overs and I made other things, but I didn't make espresso because I thought I had to have this crazy high-end machine to do it. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use the MOKKOM here, okay? This has been a really fun one. I know a lot of you might have seen this video already, but this is a really cool grinder. So what makes this very different than the Shardor grinder? Let me grab it right here because I have it on the side. Okay, just got it plugged in so I don't want to turn it on. So here is, and I will be doing a versus video. This grinder is awesome. Everyone's been raving about it. The thing about it is though, I'm going to tell you, is it's not an all metal design on the outside. That's kind of the big difference. So it's the same Burr set. It's the same motor, same chassis. The difference is this chassis has been reinforced by stainless steel, so it's pretty cool. That's a big thing. Also, when you buy this one, there are some out-of-the-box accessories that are really pro level, like the bellows up top. So that's really cool. But yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, there's probably a little bit of dialing in I'm going to need to do, but I think I'm about there. I'm going to go kind of fine with this one because this is a French roast, so it's roasted darker. And darker really means it's been on that fire, y'all. So it's easy. You kind of, when it comes to the dark roast, you kind of need to go fine. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I have it set for 20. And 20 usually does it with 18 grams. And it did. All clear. Yeah, but I always like to make sure that we're good to go. Here are the grounds for it. Let me pull it out. So I do like using the dosing cup, and I love the fact that they included one. Nice, right? Okay. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do some puck prep. To take our first shot for the day. I need my coffee, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get our grounds in there. Maybe next shot we'll use the blind shaker for fun. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I know that MH Bomber has a new needle distributor, and I should be getting that pretty soon. And then there's a new portafilter they have that just came out. I'm gonna get to try that out for the E61. So I am stoked, y'all. Got some cool stuff planned out for the future. Like I said, I have 2 budget machines I'm gonna be doing reviews on. I dig budget machines, and I kind of like to do them just because I feel like here's the problem, guys. It's not a diss on anybody. I'm trust me, I watch everyone's YouTube channels and all that stuff. It's just a lot of times when you get into espresso, you see folks, and it's totally cool because they want the pro level stuff. And I get that. But they get very focused on like some of these high end things. And the truth is, there's so many people that are really getting into coffee now. I love it when people realize that they can make really great coffee at home. It's not so much about your machine. It's about your technique. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. It's not so much about the machine. It's about having good techniques. That's why having good puck prep or having good tools or just realizing kind of how the right recipe to brew your coffee at, you know, to get your espresso at the right place, your pour over at the right place. I feel like that's way more important than sometimes the machinery. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to hear, but it's true. You know, I love it when someone talks to me and they're like, oh, hey, you know, I've been trying XYZ. I'm not getting the results I want to get. And I'm like, well, that's cool. You're trying. You know, you're doing your best. You're learning. You're giving yourself that experience. To me, that's worth it more than anything. And I would rather, if I, you know, I have a friend that reaches out to me and says, what kind of machine do I buy? I actually do prefer them to get a budget machine if they've never done espresso before. Just because, you know, let them learn on that. Let them enjoy it and kind of realize, hey, I love doing this. This was what I want. You know, at least that's my perspective. All right, guys, let's go ahead and pull our first shot. There we go. So let's take a look and see where we're at. Grind wise, I went all the way down to about a 4 or 5. Nice. So I'm right above a 9. So I'm just above that red zone, which is good. That 9 indicates, actually, the red indicates 9. So that's good. There is an overpressure valve built into the system. And I just realized I forgot to hit my scale. Bummer. Okay. I'm going to stop it right at 30 because it actually looks pretty good. And then I'm going to show y'all a little trick I showed in one of my other videos if you kind of forget to do your scale. I'm sorry, I'm a geek. I say this before, and I truly mean it. I've said it on a lot of my videos, guys. I'm not Lance Hendricks, for sure. I'm not a paid professional. I'm not a James Hoffman. Last time I was in a coffee shop at a professional level, I was in college, and I'm just some kid working a part-time job. So I'm your everyday Joe dad making coffee at home. All right, guys. Yeah, because I don't want anyone ever to think I'm saying, oh, hey, I am the total expert. Yeah, I love when someone lets me know some advice because honestly, y'all, I'm a work in progress. And that's what's important that y'all, all of us kind of remember. Okay, cool. 27.6, 28. This scale's pretty sensitive, so right about there. So the time was right about 29, so that's really about that 1 to 2 ratio. That's actually kind of what I was hoping to get. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Put on the refractometer, test it out. Yeah, and guys, like, I use this refractometer, but do you need to? Necessarily no, but it's a really cool tool to have. Basically, what it does is it tests the amount of coffee solubles that are in the water, and that kind of gives you an idea of, basically, your extraction points. It's not perfect, but right now, this came in at 11.6. So that's pretty good. That's actually where I'd like it to be, for sure. Let me go ahead and test this, give it a little taste. Oh, cool. I'm reading your comment right now, AM2P. You just got the DF64 version? Nice. The Lab Sweet V3 Burrs. Wow, that's a great choice. And then you have the niche. Oh, coolness. Yeah, the niche is really awesome. Omnel Capote has a great YouTube channel, and he has, I think, 2 niche. Let me test this. Give it a little taste. Oh, wow, that's really good. That is a very dark roast. Every now and then I like to go Scandinavian, and I know Scandinavian tends to be ultra light, but I like coffees from that region. If anyone doesn't know this, and just Scandinavia in general, they drink tons of coffee. There's so many great coffee experts that come out of that region. But I really like their dark roast sometimes, or kind of more like a street roast, the French roast. Delicious. Very traditional. It's 100% Arabica. That's awesome. Out there, hey, I'm reading your comment too. Yeah, definitely a work in progress. Yeah, it's tough because every now and then I get a question from someone, and I rather just be honest with y'all with something I don't know and say, hey, I don't know that. That's a good question, rather than give someone the wrong answer. Because I think a lot of times, especially people on social media or YouTube or whatever, they just kind of get in their own head, and it's like, dude, chill. I've learned you can never be too big for your britches. Truth is, we're all learning, and that's what I love about coffee. Yeah, so good. I had to finish it right there. Wow. Yeah, it's good. So these beans are pretty awesome. Pretty impressed with them. Every now and then I like to try stuff out I get on Amazon. And then these are pretty good. I'm digging it. I've had them before, but I haven't had them in a while. So I thought, well, it's time to reorder them. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. I just think that, like when I first started in coffee, that was like 20 some years ago. It was like 2002 when I worked in a cafe. It's 2025. I'm like now the old dude. And there's a lot of things that were really popular when I was doing coffee that just they weren't things like they are now. And that's kind of the deal, you know. I think that's kind of the perspective I try to have, you know. It's like, hey, I'm down with learning the cool new stuff. You know, I love the fact, you know, when Lance talks about James Hoffman, he calls him, does he call him Coffee Daddy or something? It cracks me up. Oh my goodness. It always just makes me laugh because it's cool. That's the thing, you know. Is anyone else going to be ordering the version 3 of the Coffee Atlas? Uh, James Hoffman put out kind of a thing saying that that's he's going to be releasing it soon, and I wanted to buy one of the signed copies, and I clicked on the link, and it was sold out immediately almost. I mean, I watched the video like 10 minutes after it came out, so bummer about that. You know, it's just like, come on. I hope he does some more signed copies. Either way, I think I'll end up getting one, even though it's not signed. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. I'm reading your comment here, your name here, James and Lance. That is so funny. Uh, I have a good friend, and he has two first names. That it sounds like two first names, Michael and Bruce. And he has another middle name. It's not his full name. There's many of them. But my wife was just like, "Hey, isn't your buddy named this? I'm working with a guy. He had the same name." Just cracked me up. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna use this grinder, and we're gonna use the exact same beans. This isn't technically a versus video, but this is just. I've had a lot of folks ask me a lot about this Maze Chef grinder. So just to kind of give you guys some highlights on this grinder, it's a very affordable grinder. It's $89 right now on Amazon, and it sometimes goes on promotions. When I first heard about the grinder, it was like 60 bucks. So that's crazy. There's just no other way to say it. So comparing these two, this is a conical burr system versus a flat burr system. I really do believe conical is way more forgiving, especially if you're first time to coffee. And what I mean by forgiving is this. If I go to my grind settings and I go over one setting, probably not going to do too much. Now, for a high-end grinder like a niche or any of those that are conical, you probably get a little more. Right next to me, I have a Star Seeker, which I believe is a 48. No, yeah, it's a 48 millimeter burr set. That the bigger the burr set, the more I don't want to say clarity, but the more capability that you're going to have. I guess technically we'd have more like microns into the size. That's kind of, I think, the thinking behind that. So this is a 30, 38 or 40. But I think this is about a 38 or 40 burr set. And I'm telling you guys, this burr set is very similar to a lot of other burr sets that I've had. It actually reminds me of the G5 from Hyperburrs. And so that's just kind of put that in perspective. The G5 is typically 150 to 200 bucks, like double the price. But it's an all metal build. So this is not all metal build. It is definitely plastic, 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 plastic. And if you have a problem with that, please don't buy this grinder. I'll just tell you that right now. But if you don't, and you want a budget grinder, and like I said, you're just kind of getting into espresso, or you got a flat burr buddy over there, or something like a DF64, one of my favorite grinders. I need to get one in here in the coffee corner. This grinder is going to be cool. This would be a great kind of dueling grinder if you just want to make sure you had kind of both at your disposal, because it is that affordable. Let me go ahead and let's get some beans. We're going to use the exact same beans, and we're going to do 18 grams, exact same basket, everything. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing like a head-to-head video, but hey, that's what I like about these lives, guys. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Sometimes I go wild and I'll do like something like this. I will be doing the Shardor 64 and the MOKKOM Grinder head-to-head 100%, guys. I already have it all planned out. I just haven't filmed it yet. So let me zero out my scale. Okay. Yeah, because I know that's going to be a really popular thing. I normally don't like talking about this, but this is something I'm going to say just for everyone's benefit. There are manufacturers out there that are pretty amazing, and they kind of build out units based on how a brand wants that unit built. And that one of those brands is Gemini. This is the company that makes my owl. Gemini kind of works as an OEM person at times, and they could go ahead and build out a machine for another brand. So the reason why I'm kind of mentioning that's Turnt Legato. Turnt Legato, Me Coffee, they partner with someone like Gemini, and they get them to build their system. So I've done a pretty deep dive into it, and I'm pretty sure that Shardor is kind of the original manufacturer with that design. And then I do think they partner with other brands, which is really kind of cool. What's cool about that is I like how this one is really kind of different than the other one. It's a different flavor. So I dig that. I'm all about things are a little bit different. So when I put them together, that's the one thing I'm going to kind of say, just for everyone to keep in mind. They're kind of like cousins. They're coming from the same place. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that one is probably going to be crazy better than the other. It's probably more like, hey, out the door, this is what this can do. I've also upgraded my Shardor to a multi-purpose burr. So I'm also going to be part of it. I'm not going to swap into standard because I want y'all to kind of see the difference between the standard burrs and the not so standard burrs. So that's something to keep in mind too. This grinder here, this Amaze Chef, it really is cool. Like I mentioned, I really think there's going to be a lot of good capability out of it. The build quality is steady. It's definitely steady, but like I said, it's all plastic. So, there's just I know I keep saying it, but there's a lot of people that do not want lots of plastic, and I kind of get it. My perspective is cost. And I'd rather be straight up honest about that. If you're here in the States, one of my favorite stores to ever go into is Big Lots. My wife makes fun of me constantly. Or Ollie's. I love going to Ollie's. I'm a deal hunter. I will enjoy buying something more finding on a deal. Yes, I am a spendthrift, I admit it. This is a therapy session. Seriously though, guys, I'm really about making sure that I find a good deal on something, and sometimes I'd rather find a good deal and get it that way. A cool thing is stuff like Amazon, there's tons of good deals. Okay, guys, so I am going to go ahead and we're going to do this the same way we did it before. I have another dosing cup right here. I'm not going to do direct to portafilter, so we'll just go dosing cup to dosing cup. I'm not doing blind or anything like that, just dosing cup. Last time, I didn't do this coffee, but the last time I tested this, I did go fine with this, and I have a feeling, like I said, this is a dark roast. The last coffee I was doing was right about similar to this coffee. So let's go ahead and try this out. This is at 0 point. I'm at a 2, basically. So let's go ahead and see where we're at with that. Okay. Love the light. Nice and fast. I love the fact that they include bellows. I have a Gemini grinder in the kitchen, and just so anyone knows, this same diameter is the same as the Gemini. The Gemini is also a 40 millimeter conical burr, and just like I was mentioning before, the burr set is very similar. And there's kind of a reason why I mentioned that here. Let me wait for me to get finished here. Make sure all the beans are through. Yeah, we're all clear. So this one's cool. It has a magnetic chute in case you wanted to clean it out a bit, or you want to do like a knock, make sure it's extra clean. So like I mentioned, I have a Gemini grinder. It's a 40 millimeter conical burr. I really love it. It's all metal construction. It runs about 250-ish, I want to say. Sometimes I've seen it for 300, but there's a reason why I mention that, guys. The the build is kind of like this. So again, it really comes down to if you are a person that's like, I can't have plastics, it's got to be all metal construction, something like that Gemini or something like a Hyperbrew G5 would be the way to go. And I just say that because, like I said, I know people are kind of sensitive to that. And I get it. I mean, I get it. The whole microplastic stuff, I get that. But, it is what it is. So, it is what it is. All right, y'all. So look, there we are with our grounds. Pretty similar. Pretty similar. All right, let's do some puck prep. Like I said, I'm going to kind of do this all very similar here. Let's get the dosing ring on there. Love this lightning tool by Image Bomber. Yeah, it's cool. I promise to turn on my scale this time. Gosh. And let's clean the glass a bit. Okay. There we go. Zero that out. Yeah, we'll do it afterwards. Been loving this iCap V6 distributor. It's killer. Y'all, this thing has been all over social media too. It's been wild, but it's a good one. I really love it. If you need one, please go look because they're awesome. This is the Impact tamper. Look how short it is. It's the shorty. Okay. Let's go ahead and put, I think I ran that last one without puck screen. That's okay. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and pull this shot. Let's make sure it's all, there we go. Zeroed out. Perfect. Nope, not perfect. There we go. Turn it off. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. So I haven't done the full 64 Burr comparison just yet. I will be definitely doing that for sure. So one of the things I have shared this with folks before, the multi-purpose burrs that I have in my Shardor 64 flat burr, they're not SSP. They are clone SSP. They're definitely clones, and I'm very open about that, guys. I could not afford to buy the SSPs, and I am not telling anyone not to. Please, if you could afford it, buy them. You guaranteed it will work, and guarantee you're gonna like it. I went with clone just because my pocketbook at the time, and I also wanted to create kind of that ultimate budget 64 setup. I really would like to get some SSPs out and do them head to head. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll put SSPs in this bad boy right here. I will be doing a versus video with the multi-purpose and the stock burrs between the two real soon. So definitely for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get this pulled. I'm gonna shoot for 30 and 30 basically. And honestly, it looks like it's already going too fine. Wow, I'm actually a little shocked. I'm not joking. I'm shocked because the last beans I used, that was way too fine. Bummer. That's okay. Dial in. That's what matters. So the last beans that I used on this were the Vietnamese birdie bees, and they definitely, yeah, birdie roasters. Ooh, that's hot. And I definitely had to go find with those. So I'm going to go ahead and back this up, and I have a feeling which grind setting I should go at for sure. Let's see here. That was a bummer. That's okay. That's why we do this. So the clone burrs, I actually just got them on Amazon. If you look at multi-purpose burrs, 64 millimeters, and if you ever need a link, let me know. Rob, I'll send you a link. There should be a link on my original video, but I think that seller isn't selling them or they ran out. But go on Amazon. They do have them on AliExpress. I do not recommend, if you're in the States, getting them there. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Guys, I've really had mixed bag with AliExpress. I've had some times where I've gotten some crazy stuff at a really, cheap price, and it's been pretty good. I mean, no other way to say it. Then I've also had bad experiences. So I don't always recommend them personally. Not, and again, it's not a diss or anything like that. I just, buyer beware. That's what I say. Buyer beware. I want to tell you guys something though. Check this out. I'm so stoked. Okay, I ordered a step down basket, and I got it on AliExpress. And they're not calling it a step down basket. They're calling it a 4-shot basket. So if you take a look, first off, if you got the money, spend the $200, buy the basket that Lance has been talking about. Is it S-Works? Oh man, I can't believe I just forgot that brand name. But the one that Lance uses, and then if you really are interested in step down, please watch Han's videos. Han's channel is one of my absolute favorites. I have so much respect for what Han does. Like, he is literally like one of my favorite people on all of YouTube. I tend to watch all his lives. If I see him going live, guys, I'm going to tell you, I personally don't go live at the same time. Just because I want to watch his lives. I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy. I'm just trying to say I really appreciate what Han does. And I feel like Han's a very good straight shooter. He rocks. There's just no other way to say it. But he has a great video about the step down basket he's using, which is the higher quality, way more, the way you should go. If you really want to do it and you really want to spend the money, please don't take a shortcut like I do. Let me be the guinea pig. So if you go to Etsy, there's a seller they say it's a custom basket. It's a step down basket from a 58 millimeter. Okay. So a 58, think about it like this. Let me just grab one here. 58 millimeter basket like this to a 49 millimeter. Okay. So this is a 51. And then just think about if these two baskets had a baby. If this was in here and it came out through here. So you can put this basket basically into a 58 millimeter machine. That truly is a step down basket because it's really about creating that length in that puck. So I love stuff like a Hyperburrs HB10 because it's a good quality 51 millimeter. Oh, Sworks. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, so they do make a cheaper one? Man, I'll have to take a look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that cost. So yeah, anyway, the one I got on Ollie was like $4. It's basically a 58 down to a 49. Now, there's someone on Etsy who has a 58 that goes to a 54, and I'm actually kind of curious about that because a Breville is one of those I have not had a chance to get into my coffee corner, and there's so many cool little things for 54. I actually even have a whole kit of stuff to use for 54 that I haven't even been able to do a video on. Someone sent to me, and I haven't been able to do a video on it. So I would be kind of stoked to get something like that. And I'm very tempted to get a Breville. My sister has one. I have family members that have them. I feel like everyone and their brother at some point has had a Breville, and I've used them before. They're great machines. I just haven't bought one. A little too much for my taste. For, you know, again, it's not a diss on it. They're great machines. Okay. So let's go ahead and definitely go coarser. And I want to take this, and this is where I talk about, this one's a little more forgiving. So I know if I take a big leap like this, it's not going to be insane. But I'm not going to take it that big. I'm going to go right about there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, almost at a 5, probably about a 6. And that should be good. Oh, I'm second guessing myself. I'm actually going to take it one more notch up. Okay. Wow, $30. That's a good deal. Yeah, like I mentioned, I got mine for like 4 or 5, but it's coming from Molly. Who knows? Who knows about the quality, you know? It's really a crapshoot. And the fact that I'm having to wait for so long. Yeah, anytime you order anything from AliExpress, if you're in the States, it's going to be a while. All right, cool. So I do have the timer on this one set for a pretty long time because I like to try to do slow feeding when I can. I have really thought about getting one of those slow feeders. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these grounds. Yeah, definitely coarser. Okay. There we go. Let's put dosing ring on. And these are 100% Arabica. Yeah, $30 is not too bad. See, for me, that's kind of a sweet zone. I didn't realize they were that cheap. But, you know, I'm cool with spending about that. Not too bad. I mean, think about the price of coffee. It was just on Amazon. And here in the States, the price is just getting ridiculous. There's just no other way to say it. And this is where, you know, you guys have heard me say it before. If you can, please just support your local roasters. Find a local place. I 100% live in a food desert when it comes to my coffee and stuff. I live rurally in Florida. And, oh man. I used to live near Orlando and Tampa, kind of smack in the middle. And that is, oh, so cool for coffee places. There's a lot of great places in that area. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's pull this shot here. So I went ahead and did about 8 was the grind setting on the amaze shaft. Okay. Automatically got a drip, so I know that it's not going to stall on me. Oh, come on. Did I speak too soon? No way. Oh, man. I should know better. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's crazy. I'm like shocked right now. I really am. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm shocked. I don't know if you guys watched the review video. There was a moment that I did definitely take this down, and I forgot to put the puck screen, but just kind of give you guys an idea. Look at that. Yeah, there. First off, I need to really think about how much I'm filling this with. Um, well, I guess I'd get used to seeing the puck screen, but the puck screen does kind of pack it down a little bit more. Let me show you guys because it's cooled down the first puck. See that in the middle? That's not good. That's no bueno for sure. You know, that's going way too fine. There's no other way to say it. This one had a little more saturation. It did get down to the bottom. And you could see it right here. It made a nice mess for me. But yeah, bummer. I'm kind of a little bummed out here. But that's okay. I will make, you know, I guess I should be happy that I'm going too fine because, you know, like I said, it does show the capability of this grinder. For a $90 grinder, it's kind of nuts. Like I was saying in my video before, I do think this would be an excellent kind of secondary grinder if you have a flat burr. You know, if you have something like a DF64 and you're just looking to have kind of another grinder to, you know, maybe do at different settings. You know, the truth is, guys, there's a lot of us out there who love to drink, you know, dark roast and light roast. Or maybe it's late at night and you want to have your decaf. You want to put your decaf. You don't want to co-mingle your coffee. And I laugh, but that's literally something I've thought about. And I've had a lot of folks tell me they do. So again, if you wanted to have kind of that grinder set up, why not? For that price? That's crazy. I mean, I kind of blown away. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of blows me away. It's just no other way to say it. Pretty cool. $90. Can't beat that. Let me show you guys a little bit of something what I'm talking about, though, just so you can see what I'm saying. As far as a good example of kind of that next step, if you wanted to go that next step. So this is, I don't have a lot of room here, but this is my Hyperburrs G5. Okay. G5 all metal construction, 38. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Oh, goodness. There we go. 38 millimeter conical burrs, all metal, plastic for the top portion, but metal inside and metal on the outside. This is about $200 at times. This is a really good option if you're looking for something and you just want to go, you know, kind of like I said, next level up. The other one is Star Seeker. Another really good option, and I've really loved using it. The Star Seeker is excellent. The Burr set is pretty big, dropping stuff here. But that's kind of the thing, you know, I guess that's why I get so blown away with that grinder just being so cheap. That Star Seeker is $300 generally. So that's crazy when you think about it. And like I mentioned, the Gemini grinder I have really kind of performs very similar. So yeah, just something to think about. Let's go ahead and get this right one more time, because it's going to drive me crazy until I get this right. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I'm telling you, sometimes I just get that itch and I'm like, I got to get this shot right, or everything in the world's going to be wrong. It won't. Guess what? The world's still going to tick if I don't get this shot right. But hey, you know, y'all are hanging with me. I don't want to let you down. All right. I'm going to go with 17.6, not quite the 18, because like I said, I noticed I was filling the bag up a bit. And maybe with these beans, they just expand more. And that's something to think about too, guys. A lot of folks will kind of reach out to me and say, hey, this is going on. I'm pulling the same grind as you are on the same exact grinder, and I'm pulling using the same, well, that's the kicker. I might not be using the same beans, but I'm using the same machine. And guys, that's the thing. Every one of these beans that we buy, the density levels are different. And the density levels can be different even from same roaster, from the same type. because it could be a different harvest. You know, it could be a different, there's so many different variables. So doing some RDT like I've been doing, just so you know. And let's go ahead and get these beans pulled. Sorry guys, I'm working with a different tripod today. There we go. Okay. So obviously I need to clear that out first. So I went ahead and went from like a 9 all the way almost to 20. So that is a huge, huge leap. I think it's almost too much. But this is kind of what you have to do sometimes. I normally don't like a big hopper like this, but I'm pretty impressed with this one. A lot of chaff. That light just really puts a pretty good perspective on how much chaff it the beans generate. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hopefully we get this right here. I want to get this right. Okay. Always make sure once you put that portafilter up there, there might be a little bit of moisture. Well, had one really good shot so far. Let's try for 2. All right. Give a little help there. Pretty messy. Let's do a different puck screen. There we go. Clean up the edge. Interesting. Oh. Had a weird angle. There we go. All right. Let's cross our fingers. Yeah. Definitely did not go too fine. Probably went too coarse. But that's okay. As far as the pressure, it's right there where I want it to be, right above a 9. It's coming a little faster than I like, but I'm going to take that right now. I'm going to stop it right at 30. 30.9 in 21 seconds. So again, faster than the other grinder, but kind of more of that traditional recipe, you know, kind of setup. So I think that's going to be, I'm calling that a win, y'all. I definitely am calling that a win. If I really wanted to tweak it a little more and dial it in, I would go just a little bit finer. But yeah, wow, interesting. Let's see where we're at on this one. Okay, so, okay, Crema. Pretty similar to what was there before. Okay. Let's give it a little test. Last one was 11. This is, wow, this is actually higher. And the ratio to water was pretty close. 13.82, so higher extraction, and it was quicker. That's interesting. Very interesting. Let's give it a little taste. So that's proof you can go with a quicker extraction and get, well, quicker timing and get better extraction. What's wild? Now, as far as taste goes, believe it or not, I kind of prefer this one. This one has a richer taste, and I don't think that's my imagination. And I don't think it's just because of the higher T. Well, it's probably higher, the higher TDS. Oh wow, has a better mouthfeel to it. Now, it doesn't mean this is a better grinder necessarily, but it kind of proves that point of what I was just kind of talking about in the beginning of the video. For 90 bucks, they have a grinder like that. If you wanted to go ahead and kind of go back and forth between the two styles, the conical versus the flat burr grinder, $90 is cheaper than a Burr set. I mean, think about that. That's wild. That is wild. So anyway, just food for thought. Yeah, I'm digging this. This is really good. I wish I had the other shot to compare it, but it was so good I just enjoyed it. But very similar, but if I based off my memory from a few minutes ago, I would probably prefer the shot. That's wild. Now, it is a darker roast. So, guys, I'm using a French roast out of Denmark. You couldn't get more forgiving. You couldn't get more classic espresso taste. So, there, you know, I'm not shocked, but very interesting. The true test would be for me to put this on the Shardor and 64 with the multi-purpose burrs and see with what the different burrs and all that. I've been thinking about getting some HU burrs too, so I've been kind of toying around with that idea. Let me know if you guys want to peer pressure me into doing that. Say that jokingly, but I might do it just because I've been trying to geek out about that. I've thought about doing a whole burr comparison video. Rob, I'm thinking about you, man. You know, that would be kind of a cool thing. I am going to be doing a versus video pretty soon between those two grinders. So, just because I know that's what everyone's thinking, especially those of us who are stateside or in Canada with our markets, those are the two that are really available. You know, I know that in other markets it's kind of hard. I've had a lot of folks reach out to me from Colombia and just Latin America, and there's been a little bit of it's been hard trying to find it. If anyone knows a seller for this in Latin America, for either this grinder or for the Shardor 64, please let me know in the comments because I want to share that with folks. I don't think it's available on the Amazon Marketplace. So that's something, you know, I want to help some folks out, you know, because it's been a question I've got asked a lot. But yeah, guys, this is pretty cool. I didn't really think about doing a head-to-head, even though I got them here. This is kind of a head-to-head a little bit. But for 90 bucks, it just goes to show you can get a good experience. You know, I think if you're a home barista or you have a friend that's just getting into coffee or you're just getting into coffee for the first time, I could definitely recommend this one, you know. I am going to say this, guys, just because I feel like I need to. There's a lot of folks that are very much into low retention and all that. They claim with this thing that it's like 99.5% retention. Here's my honest opinion. Everyone claims that. There is anti-static technology. It doesn't say if it's an ionizer or a blower, but I do kind of get the idea that it's maybe like, I guess, a cheaper ionizer that's in here. The fact that this has the feature set where you could just take that off, you know, I guess why I'm kind of saying this, I've recommended a lot of budget grinders before in the past, and then folks will reach out to me and be like, oh man, the retention, and I've had these issues. I say this kindly. if you buy a budget grinder, just really expect you're gonna have some retention deals. It's not gonna be perfect because it's budget. So that's all I'm saying. Just keep that in mind. I love, like I said, the fact you take that off, just get the blower, blow it out. I mean, come on, that's awesome. The fact that the bellows are up here. But let me just kind of show you guys one last thing on this grinder, because I don't really think I showed this on the review video, now that I think about it. Let me just move this out of the way a tiny bit. Okay. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to it all. So here's the inside after everything. So after use, this is what the inside of this grinder looks like. Okay. So as far as, you know, retention levels and all that stuff, once you take that off, it can't start. So I'm gonna hit the button just to show you guys. Can't start. That's a cool safety feature, or else I wouldn't be doing this unless it was unplugged. But pulling out the burrs, that's pretty much where they get. And take a look at the inside. There's beans that are kind of up top. And yeah, so like I said, you buying something at a budget, realize it might have some quirks. I did a video, it's one of my most popular videos on the Shardor 38mm grinder. I have one new in the box right here that I have been talking about doing a giveaway for, but I've just been so busy. It's been kind of hard to figure out how to do all that. I said before that one kind of had some issues, or you had to baby it, and someone was like, what do you mean baby it? Just do your regular stuff, just like this. You just got to clean it. You got to pull it out. You got to blow it with the blower. You got to use a vacuum, something like that. That's just a good idea. You know, that's kind of the big thing. I think anytime you have something that's a bargain or a budget, just remember you might have to mod it. You might have to clean it more. You've just got to baby it. And I think that's all budget machines. That's the best way I'll put it. Okay, I'm reading your comment here. Okay, so you have a hybrid G5 grinder? Yeah, see, I actually just pulled that grinder off the shelf earlier in the video. Let me show you. I got it right here. I love this grinder. I truly love this grinder. It's been one of my good old faithfuls. I've used it so much. I definitely recommend it. And you're absolutely right. With that one, it's pretty good. I clean it, and I'll clean it just as much as I probably will clean this grinder. You know, just because that's me. I like to do the grinder maintenance. I always try to make sure my stuff's clean. But yeah, that's kind of the big thing. Takeaway is get something at a really cheap cost. Remember, just clean it really well. Hey guys, I really appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for watching me. I do have some videos that are going to be coming out a little bit later on in the week that I mentioned. So I have two budget grinders that I just got, excuse me, two budget, excuse me, oh my goodness, machines that are around $100. So I'm going to be doing review videos on those. One of those is from Shardor. So they make a really cool budget grind. I keep saying grinders, sorry guys. Budget machine, and I'm going to be doing a review on that. Another one is from Nervat. Nervat. I think it's he said it. Please forgive me. I always say the names wrong, and you guys correct me in the comments. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing. They have another one. It's very budget, super cool. I think it's gonna be a fun one to mess with. So I'll be doing that, and then I do have a grinder coming from Hanyu, and and guys. I really haven't said much about this because I just got it confirmed. It's a 64mm flat burr variable speed grinder. It sounds a lot like the DF64 version 2 variable. It's not the DF64, I'll tell you that right now, but I have a sneaky feeling that some of It's cousins. Let's put it that way. So I'm very, very happy to get it. And when it comes, I don't know exactly when it's going to come. I'm going to definitely do a big video on that because price-wise, guys, that one's about 300 bucks. And pretty stoked about that. There's not a lot of reviews on it. I haven't seen any reviews. That's why I was kind of stoked to get it on Amazon. If anyone has one, let me know, because I like to know if there's any things I want to look for, explore. But I have that coming. And then Nutty is going to be sending out, and it's in production right now. They're going to be sending me one of the units to do a review on their mobile espresso machine. So I'm pretty stoked about that. One of these videos, I'm going to do a mobile espresso machine, like head to head. I'm going to get all of them that I have, and we'll just head to head it. So guys, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe any of these videos. Also remember to hit the hype button. And if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate. Follow me on Instagram, DM me, put comments below. Y'all just have a great weekend. It's Friday, y'all. I'm so stoked it's Friday. Thanks so much for watching and hanging with me.